hello.
Hello, I forgot to do the fake
Very
walk.
good morning to you as well. Welcome along to IrelandAM on Virgin Media 1.
It is Wednesday, the 17th of August, and we are with you, as always, until 10.
Now, it has been a year since the Taliban took control of Afghanistan. We're going to be discussing the deepening humanitarian crisis and how women's rights have been restricted.
Fairly terrifying. Also, for something quite different with the new school term around the corner, Kathryn Thomas will be joining us to talk about separation anxiety as she prepares her daughter for her very first day of school. You remember that with Emma?
Yeah, last year. It is. It's a big moment. It's
emotional.
A big moment. It is. Well, actually, I was in here, so I didn't get to
yeah, you were.
But yeah, it was kind of, again, the whole school uniforms and everything else.
He was on FaceTime, guys.
At this stage, I just want to get rid of them, get them to school.
Get her back.
Anyway, a campaign to highlight dangers on footpaths has been launched by the National Council for the Blind. We're going to be finding out more about this campaign at 7:45.
It's something that you see all the time when it's cars parked up on small footpaths, wheelie bins, when you think about blind people.
Dog poo. That wrecks my head.
Well, people who are in wheelchairs, when you just can't get around, they're rolling in dog poo, their hands are going on that as well. It's absolutely awful. If you've got pictures of your area and if it's something that's kind of annoying you, we would love to see those this morning and send us a little message about where you are. 0896 111 111, because it's becoming a real issue for people. Now we're going to go outside. This looks really cool. Alan, what have we got coming up this morning?
Well, Murren, he's got one of the most in-demand food trucks in Ireland and was recently booked by none other than Hollywood royalty Russell Crowe. Yes, we're open for business. Scott Holder is serving up Mexican tacos. Good morning to you, Scott.
Hey, Alan. Good
How
morning.
are you? We're going to be talking about your connection with Russell Crowe a little later on and why you booked this fabulous fan. But what are we on the menus this morning?
We're going to be cooking some tangy chicken tinga tacos with some
Tangy
sliced
chicken
avocado.
tinga.
It's a bit of a tongue twister.
But gorgeous and tasty.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Very
looking
good.
forward to that. The truck looks absolutely amazing.
Thank you very much.
It really does. Now, the Dublin Horse Show returns to the RDS today, and Deric is there for us this morning. Deric, how's the weather shaping up for day one of the Horse Show?
Yeah, good morning, Al. I have to say those chicken tacos will look delicious later on. Can't wait to try them. Send them our way. Anyway, good morning, guys. We're live here from Ballsbridge in Dublin, and mainly dry and settled start. Now we're going to see some light showers, some light rain and drizzle from the west feed across the country as we push our way through your Wednesday. But as you mentioned there, Al, we're live here from the RDS in Dublin, day one of the Horse Show, and we're going to be catching up with some of the runners and the riders, the jumpers, a little bit later on. And I think we're going to have a little pony plat challenge. So we're always up to something, aren't we? We'll catch you later on.
You're going to be plaiting Deric. You're not going to be up on the horse, no?
Well, I might be up on the horse plaiting his tail. I don't know. We'll just run with it.
Okay, listen, looking forward to that. Looking forward. It's going to
You're
be
horsey people. When you said, I was like, what are they talking about?
Well,
Plaiting?
get up on the horse.
Where you plait their tails.
Oh,
Is
you
that a
plait their
thing?
tails and plait their mane and stuff, yeah. There you go.
There you go.
Can't plait my daughter's hair, though. But anyway, let's move on. Time to find out what kind of morning we are waking up to. Over to Hannah Murphy in the Virgin Media News Hub.
Thank you and good morning. Gardaí are continuing to question a man who was arrested as part of an investigation into the murder of Miriam Burns in County Kerry. The body of the 75-year-old was found at her home in Killarney on Monday, and the case was upgraded to a murder investigation yesterday. An incident room has been set up at Killarney Garda Station. Gardaí want to hear from anyone who witnessed any unusual activity in the area between 5 o'clock on Friday and 1 o'clock on Monday afternoon. The director of the HSE's National Ambulance Service has defended its ability to respond to emergency calls. It follows a damning internal report which showed that without urgent recruitment, fewer than 40% of calls about life-threatening emergencies will be met within the target of 19 minutes. A workforce plan by the Health Service says recruitment efforts have been surpassed by the demand for services. The director of the National Ambulance Service insists the majority of calls are being met within targets, but there is a need to boost numbers.
It's also fair to say that the vast majority of patients on average are responded to within about 24-25 minutes across the country, across all emergency calls. So whilst we may not be meeting the 19-minute target on an ongoing basis, but broadly speaking, most people are not waiting an extraordinary length of time either. And our services continue to be safe. That's the key issue really for people. Our services continue to be safe and there are no adverse events at the moment.
In the US, a 3-term Congresswoman and outspoken critic of Donald Trump has lost her Wyoming seat in Congress. Liz Cheney said she could have won the Republican primary vote if she had have endorsed the former president's assertion that election fraud cost him his place in the White House. Cheney has conceded her seat to a candidate who backed claims that the 2020 election was stolen. Speaking to a crowd of supporters in Wyoming, Harriet Hegeman thanked Trump for backing her.
Obviously, we're all very grateful to President Trump, who recognizes that Wyoming has only one congressional representative, and we have to make it count. His clear and unwavering support from the very beginning propelled us to victory tonight.
The 2 Tory leadership candidates are taking part in election hustings in Northern Ireland later today. Rishi Sunak and Liz Truss will address Conservative Party members at a sold-out event in Belfast this lunchtime. The standoff at Stormont and the Northern Ireland Protocol are among the issues expected to be discussed. The candidate who will succeed Boris Johnson as Prime Minister is due to be announced on September 5th. Firefighters in Spain are continuing to battle a wildfire in the province of Alicante. The blaze, which broke out at the weekend, is believed to have been the largest fire in the region in a decade. Claire Regan has more.
A sea of orange as ferocious flames burn through trees in Spain. The blaze broke out in the eastern coastal province of Alicante on Saturday night and has since doubled in size in the space of 24 hours. The fire, which it's believed was sparked by dry lightning in a summer storm, has already burned some 10,000 hectares, while more than 1,000 people have been forced to leave their homes in the area. Officials have placed other nearby towns on standby for potential evacuations as the blaze continues to burn. A massive response from fire crews is ongoing, both on the ground and from the sky, while personnel from Spain's military emergency unit have also been deployed to help firefighters in their effort to extinguish the flames. Spain has been battling wildfires like these for much of the summer as hot temperatures persist. The European Forest Fire Information System says almost 250,000 acres have burned in wildfires in Spain so far this year, almost 4 times the country's average. Claire Regan, Virgin Media News.
And finally, for now, the Dublin Horse Show gets underway in the capital today after a 3-year absence due to the COVID-19 pandemic. 100,000 people are expected to visit the event at the RDS over the coming days. Ladies' Day will take place tomorrow, while other highlights include the Nations Cup on Friday and the Grand Prix on Sunday.
For car insurance, van insurance or home insurance, call the Quote Devil. Unless, of course, you've got money to burn.
Thank you, Marina. Very good morning to you at home, or if you're indeed streaming online on the player. We're coming to you live here from Ballsbridge in Dublin. Now, coming up in the next wee while, we're heading off to the Horse Show. Of course, day 1 kicking off later on today. So hopefully we're going to be meeting some show jumpers later on this hour in the RDS. Now, let's take an only look at weather together with Gary Cullerton on cameras. And I have to say, it's a mainly dry and settled start out there now this Wednesday. We are seeing a couple of hit and miss passing showers into northern spots, but elsewhere, very limited in terms of those bright breaks. A good deal of cloud cover in that northerly airflow. Now, right across this afternoon in Sherrill, in fact, we will see showers pick up through parts of the west. Light rain, light drizzle will begin to edge in towards the back end of the afternoon and into early evening. Quite overcast elsewhere, with top values of about 16 to 20 degrees, with some bright breaks kicking through. And finally then tonight, mainly dry and settled. Once again, we're going to see that mixture of cloudy spells and clear skies. Again, a humid night in store too, with values back to about 10 to 14 degrees. And that's how it's shaping up here in Ballsbridge at the moment. We'll catch you back live at 7:35.
For first-time drivers, young drivers, returning drivers, if you've had an open claim or have had too many penalty points.
The Quote Devil's always got one hell of a quote.
Now, it's been a year since the Taliban took control of Afghanistan.
We're going to be finding out how the people of the country are faring under their rule next on IrelandAM.
Welcome back to the show. Now, it has been a year since the Taliban overtook the Afghan capital of Kabul after foreign forces hastily completed their withdrawal.
To discuss this morning, we're joined by Senator and security expert Tom Clonan. Tom, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We all remember those pictures of a year ago of people throwing their children up to people in airports to try to get them out of Afghanistan as the Taliban were rolling into the capital, Kabul. And you know, it was highlighted for a while, and the next thing, the war in Ukraine took over. But it has been a colossal failure. The year has been bad for the people of Afghanistan.
It has. It was such a catastrophe, a collapsing perimeter. The Taliban arrived in downtown Kabul a couple of weeks before they were expected. There had been an agreement under the Doha Agreement, which was signed by Donald Trump, and Western forces left. And it has been a very tough year for Afghans. The economy has collapsed in Afghanistan. There 9 billion in foreign assets have been frozen by the United States. So today, as we speak, 1 in 6 Afghans face starvation. 1 in 6. And 1 in 2, half the population are not being fed enough. You know, their dietary requirements aren't being met. But I think the big story in Afghanistan, it's what's happening to women. There are 21 million women and girls in Afghanistan. And before the Taliban rocked into town last year, 87% of them were illiterate. 90% of them experienced domestic violence. 70% of Afghan women are put into what are called forced marriages as children. And that's a euphemism for abduction and rape. Okay, 70%. 80% of people who die by suicide in Afghanistan are women. And that's an extraordinary statistic, because it's normally, you know, that goes against the international trend. So when I think of Afghanistan, I think of the fate of women and girls there. That's the biggest story. And it's under the Taliban's watch and under their rule.
And women are being sold, used and traded as commodities right now because they're facing drought.
There had been some talk last year of the Taliban kind of rebranding themselves and saying that they would allow women to participate in the workplace and get education, but that hasn't happened. And in March of this year, the Taliban closed all secondary schools to young women and girls. In July of this year, Amnesty International published a report which again shows the principal victims of the Taliban's oppression, their violence, their systematic violence and rape of women, is women rather, women and girls.
So when Joe Biden made the decision to withdraw the troops, it seemed very hasty that it just happened one day. He'd set the date and then that was it. The Taliban rolled in. Did he not know this was going to happen? I mean, like, what was the decision process for Joe Biden and the Americans to get out of it, considering they've been for 20 years?
Yeah, look, the Americans, this was their longest foreign war in US history, and 3,500 NATO and US troops were killed in Afghanistan, with, you know, multiples of that seriously injured, crippled, suffering from polytrauma, acquired brain injuries. A very unpopular war in the United States. And even as far back as President Barack Obama had been promising to draw down troops from Afghanistan, Donald Trump signed the agreement in Doha and said, right, we're out of there, we're going to leave. And the Taliban and their backers gave certain assurances which haven't been met. But the big strategic issue for the United States, and by extension for us in Europe, is that when they withdrew from Afghanistan, superpowers like China and Russia were watching this with great interest and said, look at the United States and NATO. They're thrown out of Afghanistan by, you know, maybe 20, 30,000 guys with beards and Kalashnikovs. And that emboldened them. China has become more bellicose and aggressive over Taiwan. And Vladimir Putin, expecting very little response from NATO and the European Union, invaded Ukraine. So we are where we are.
So you're seeing these global effects as directly as a knock-on from the Americans withdrawing from Afghanistan, even though after 20 years and billions upon billions upon billions of euros spent in Afghanistan, it was a failing state as it was anyway. There was so much corruption going on side by side that they knew that this is how business was being done. Like there was no end in sight to it ever becoming a functioning society as we would view it.
Yeah. Well, I think we need to revisit, the United States, the NATO partners really need to reflect on their foreign policy imperatives, because since 9/11, the invasion of Afghanistan, the invasion of Iraq, the West have used military force as a way of, if you like, extending their political will around the world. And it doesn't work. Yeah. It was catastrophic in the Middle East, and it was catastrophic in Central Asia and Afghanistan. And the principal beneficiaries of the collapse of Allied and US operations in the Middle East have been Russia and Iran, and Russia and China in Central Asia. Now they're the big game players. So it's going to force the West to really rethink how we engage with the rest of the world. I mean, if you look at the way China does it, China doesn't arrive with aircraft carriers and rocket systems. They just sell you stuff. And then they slowly but surely increase their sphere of influence.
As you can see in African countries.
I'm not saying that's a good thing or that they're benign, but for us, because we do share certain values. I mean, Ukraine is a popular democracy right on Russia's border. Putin doesn't like that. It threatens his sense of himself as Russia's hard man, president for life. He doesn't like the idea of a popular democracy. He sensed weakness on NATO's part after the collapse in Afghanistan, and he sent his troops in. But NATO has responded. The European Union has responded. But I think, hopefully, going forward, when that conflict does come to an end, that perhaps we can think of a better way of conducting our foreign policy.
So going back to Afghanistan, when you were talking about the poverty over there, the rights being stripped from women over there, what can NATO do now? What can the UN do? Is it just we have to stand back and watch what happens?
Well, I think that it's not a matter for NATO or for military alliances. I think it's a matter for political engagement.
But does this not show that let's forget the farce, because we've got Yemen where there has been years of famine, the rights of people have been completely and utterly subjugated. We know what's going on in Syria, we know what's going on to the Yazidi people and in Afghanistan. When we talk about human rights, if it doesn't have the political will behind it from certain countries, they're not going in there. They're not political and strategic interests like oil.
Yeah, well, I think we need to think more about our values and less about our interests internationally. We don't. But there have been examples prior to 9/11 in the 1990s, back in the good old days. Some historians refer to it as the end of history, the collapse of the Soviet Union. But the European Union had a policy for North Africa and the Middle East, and they called it the zone of romance. And what they did was that instead of sending, aircraft carrier groups and fighter jets down there, what they did was they tried to incentivise political reform by investment, by trade, by giving them grants. And countries like Turkey and so on really improved their human rights record in an attempt to get in to the European Union and share all of its advantages. So I know it's not a perfect model, but it is an alternative to what we've had in the last 20 years, which is constant conflict and war. And again, the principal victims of those wars are civilians. Men, women and children. Yeah. And, the beneficiaries, unfortunately, have been people like Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping.
But we're not seeing, this situation is going to rumble on. There's not going to be an improvement.
Yeah, but, I've been doing this now for 22 years and I've decided one has to try and be optimistic. Okay. And we do learn. The world is very polarised at the moment and we have people like Trump, who was in the White House, Boris Johnson in London. But perhaps, I do actually think that the way out of this is globally the empowerment of women and girls, because we've had thousands of years of patriarchy. The planet's on fire. We're killing each other at a phenomenal rate. That's not working. So we need an alternative. And we can't abandon hope. We have to be optimistic.
Thanks, Tom. We needed that this morning.
Yeah, thank you.
You scared the life out of me. Tom Clonan, of course, security expert, Senator as well. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thanks so much.
Still loads more to come here on IrelandAM. We'll see you after this short break.
Smiling a while. It's time now to take a look at this morning's papers. We'll start with the Irish Times. Its headline: Irish Catholics demand changes in church. Demands by Irish Catholics for major changes in the church's attitude to women, LGBTQI+ people, those who are divorced or remarried, and single parents have been sent to Rome.
Threat to junior cert results in row over teacher working hours. That's the front page of the Irish Independent. Some junior cycle students may not get the results because of a row over teachers refusing to attend meetings after normal school hours.
The Examiner leads with €8 billion plan to extend cuts to fuel tax. The emergency reduction to fuel excise will be extended well into next year as part of the €8 billion plus budget day plans to ease the burden of the cost of living that it's having on families.
The Mayor goes with, I'm a love cheat, I can't resist.
Tommy, what? What do you have to tell us?
It ain't me.
Oh, my God.
Ryan Giggs has told the court he is a serial love rat who has never been able to resist attractive women.
The Star's front page, pedos prison shock locals in a County Louth village have sent out a stern message to a now convicted paedophile stating, don't show your face here ever again.
The Herald goes with Gran beaten to death at home. Gardaí fear grandmother Miriam Burns was beaten to death in her home by someone known to her.
The Sun's front page, pop idol Darius dead. Pop idol legend Darius Campbell-Dinesh was found dead at 41 in his US flat weeks before he was to star in a reunion show.
And finally, give women equality in the church is the top story on the Daily Mail. Women should be ordained as priests and not be treated as second-class citizens by the Catholic Church in Ireland. A hard-hitting new report has declared.
Joining us with more on that landmark report and a look at what else is making the news is political correspondent with the Irish Independent, Hugh O'Connell. Good morning, Hugh. How are you?
How are you, Tommy?
I wonder what this will mean for the thousands of people who no longer go to Mass, because it's like, well, you never really wanted us in the first place, lads. So,
I mean, I'm not really clear. Like, this is submissions from Catholics, and I think they had 29 submissions, but there was also extensive consultation with Catholics across the country, across the island, in fact. But I'd be interested to know, like, you know, are some of these lapsed Catholics, you know, people who might have made their communion, confirmation and all that, but haven't been to church in years, or whether it's like hardcore Catholics going to church every Sunday. But nonetheless, it's really interesting research.
So they've sent this report to the Pope, have they?
They have, yeah. The Pope, I think, is holding I think it's called a World Synod of Bishops at the Vatican that's planned for October of next year. So in advance of that, he's asked a Catholic diocese across the world to come up with ideas for how they might reform the church. And there's some pretty radical ideas here. Well, I mean, they're not radical to those of us who aren't Catholics.
Radical. We were just talking about the Taliban. You know what I mean? What they're doing to women. It's not
radical. I suppose in terms of the Catholic doctrine, it's pretty radical.
Yeah.
They're talking about the ordination of women. You know,
mandatory celibacy rule, removing
the celibacy rule, yeah, which would be a big one as well. So, I mean, I don't know what the appetite is amongst the Catholic hierarchy for these sort of reforms, but certainly there's a desire amongst Irish Catholics to see these sort of reforms where they better recognise women, better recognise.
Did they say how many people want this?
No, I don't think it really gets into that. But I mean, it's certainly it's the view of the majority of Catholics around. There's certainly those that they consulted here, and as I said, it would be interesting to see how far this goes. It's a pretty radical document by the standards of the Catholic Church.
But it's interesting because things like celibacy and all that, none of that is in the Bible. It's just stuff that was made because of all the corruption that was in the Dark Ages when it came to the church in Rome, being like, oh my God, they've got 17 wives, we can't handle this anymore. So, like, it's all stuff that we have instituted as humans. So if you're a Catholic and it's based on the Bible, it's not in the Bible.
I mean, there's a debate to be had, I suppose, as the degree to which the Catholic Church has kept up with the developments within society. And certainly, on the face of it, it doesn't appear that it's kept up very well. I mean, even if you take the most recent referendums in this country on same-sex marriage and abortion, I think the church campaigned against both. So, and you see that the population of the country voted in large numbers for those changes, for those reforms to the constitution. So,
and you see with the maternity hospital, people don't trust the church, and you know, if they want to get the church wants to get people back on their side a little bit.
Yeah,
maybe moving with the times. Yeah, like.
Well, this is the thing, but I mean, this is obviously, you know, this is Ireland. It's unique to Ireland. This is the belief in Ireland. But I mean, ultimately, you know, when you're consulting across the Catholic Church across the world, you're going to get a difference of views. And I suspect, as I said, that these reforms. I keep saying this, but they are like radical by the standards of the Catholic Church. I mean, they make sense to us, and they make sense to a lot of people, I think, who think that the Church hasn't kept up with the way society has developed.
But we had one priest on here one day, and he was excellent.
Oh, yeah.
And he spoke about, I can completely understand where people are coming from, but these are the sort of rules and values that we...
I mean, I'd be really surprised if a lot of these things make it through.
But it's
any reform process.
It's a massive political institution. The Vatican is a massive political institution. It is a corporation and it's huge business. So, you know, there's that. 0896 111 111. If it's for you, what do you make of it? Would it bring you back to the church if you don't go? And if you're in the church, what would you like to see it more inclusive? Now, I'm very interested in this as to whether this is coming from the unions or if there are teachers who are watching who are like, lads, they're not dragging us into something else again. Because, I mean, between the CABs, the SLARs, the JCPAs, this is a dispute.
There's a lot of acronyms for a Wednesday morning.
A dispute over teachers' hours.
You've lost me already.
Junior cycles for pupils. So this is the new junior cycle, which involves performances and assessments inside in class.
It's the classroom-based assessment, I think, element of the junior cert, and there's a row over teachers meeting to agree on the grades to apportion children for the classroom-based assessment. And it seems to me that ASTI, the more, I suppose, radical teacher trade union is driving this as a dispute over hours.
Oh, are you in the ASTI? Do you like him calling you a radical? I like it. I like it.
So it's a row over teachers refusing to attend meetings after normal school hours.
Yes, that's it.
So,
and this ultimately is where the crux of this is, I suppose, is that it's going to have an impact on students potentially getting their junior cert results, because if teachers can't meet to agree the grades for classroom-based assessments, students can't get their full marks.
But should a teacher not be making the classroom-based assessment themselves, considering they're the teacher who are making the classroom-based assessment?
Clearly, there's some culture. I mean, I'm not familiar with the intricacies of it, but I mean, there seems to be that there's some degree of consultation across the school.
Is it quite radical, this one as well?
This is radical. So
I'll stop using that word now.
The TUI, so the Teachers Union of Ireland, they do meetings outside of classroom hours to do these assessments.
There's an agreement in place for teachers to do this, but the ASTI has put a strict limit on members' participation in this, and there's a concern, I think, that would exceed that.
So this is from the union. The union are saying this.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm always interested in teachers. How do you feel about what your union is saying in relation to
I mean, that's always an interesting debate.
Because it's always
I don't always think teachers agree with perhaps what their unions are saying.
We haven't even got back to school yet, and we're talking about the teachers not wanting to work outside their hours.
Let us know.
Are you a teacher? Let us know.
Does this mean, you're not willing to do the assessments so that kids can get their junior cert grades?
Yeah, well, exactly. Are you a parent?
111.
Are you a parent and you're frustrated your kids can't get their grades? Finally, a bit of sad news. Darius Dinesh, former Pop Idol star, remember a song, Colourblind.
We were singing it earlier.
Give a bit of a rendition to the earlier.
Well, can you give us, just even say it?
But you were really good earlier.
It would make me colourblind. He was managed by U2's former manager as well, I think, Steve Lillywhite.
What?
I'm getting this.
Sorry, I'm just sitting there going, sorry, if Tommy's going on Mastermind, is Pop Idol Darius, your subject? Anyway.
I loved Pop Idol and X Factor back in the early days.
I was just saying before we came on air that he's from the era when these shows were a big deal,
Yeah.
And the stars in them I think he finished third, and Gareth Gates and Will Young were first and second.
Was he that year, right? So that was a big one.
I mean, they became mega pop stars, and he did as well, it seems. He had a very successful career, and it's very sad news. He's only 41.
He did. We always remember the Hit Me Baby One More Time. That's what I remember him doing when he was doing his audition. But I think in years after, because he had been set up as this sort of target as a result of how he'd acted on it, everyone said he was such a nice person.
Yeah.
Like such a lovely person, only 41 years old.
It's very sad news.
And then went into the theatre and stuff as well. Obviously, talented guy. So bit of sad news.
Absolutely. Fans will certainly will be seeing a lot, I think, over the next few days.
We're not going into Marty Whelan's tattoo or anything else after that. Dying to top of that later on. Hugh O'Connell from the Irish Independent. Thank you so much for joining us for that radical talk through the news this morning. Alan,
I'm not coming back.
Thanks, guys. Yes, after the break, we're going to be discussing a new awareness campaign which aims to highlight the struggles faced by visually impaired people in towns and cities right across Ireland. We'll see you after the break.
You're very welcome back to the show. Now, cars on footpaths, outdoor dining sets, advertising boards can all pose risks to pedestrians, especially those with visual impairments.
And a campaign to highlight these dangers has been launched. And to tell us more, we're joined by June Tinsley, Head of Communications at the National Council of the Blind, and Jade McCormack, who's visually impaired. Good morning to both of you. Thank you very much for joining us. June, can we start with you and ask you why was this campaign needed?
Our Clear Our Paths campaign we run every single year, and I suppose it's really just a reminder to the general public and to businesses to be a little more alert and aware of temporary obstacles that we see on our streetscapes every single day. It's things like cars parked on footpaths, overhanging branches, dog fouling, outdoor dining areas that aren't clearly cordoned off, bicycles up against poles that might have slipped down, all those kind of obstacles which can really impede someone who's blind or vision impaired to get about safely and independently. And I suppose it's really just to alert people to these issues and to ask them to remove it.
It is an alert thing, isn't it? Because we're looking at a picture there of bins. I leave my bin like that sometimes, or when a bin man, after they've done an estate, there's bins strewn everywhere. And they're not thinking, it's not an intentional thing, but it's just to bring that an awareness to people to clear paths.
Exactly. I mean, there's no malice involved. It's just more lack of awareness or consideration to other pedestrians who are using that street. So I suppose it's to urge householders to bring their bins in as soon as they're emptied. It's to refrain from parking on footpaths where possible, and to make sure that the streetscapes are as clear as possible for people who are blind or vision impaired.
And Jade, obviously you have a visual impairment as well. I mean, how frustrating is it? Is it dangerous sometimes for you when people are leaving things out on footpaths where you're expecting it to be clear and safe for you to get to where you need to be?
It absolutely can be. Like where we get given mobility training on, you know, routes so we can get about them safely and independently. And if there are things like wheelie bins that are just abandoned, or cars, you know, people saying, I'll just park my car here, I'll run out. You know, it can be, I mean, you're walking down the street not expecting to see this bin or this car, and bang, you're straight into it. Like,
and of course you wouldn't necessarily know. You'd know it was a car, but there'd be other things that you wouldn't realise what it is, and you're trying to figure that out as well. Can I ask you, Jade, what extent are you visually impaired?
So I have about between 3 and 5% in my left eye, and just light in my right eye. So I don't see that much.
Okay.
It's like tunnel vision.
So when you're coming across, if, as I said, a car would be there, but there'd be other obstacles like the boards that are put out all the time for menu boards and stuff like that, and they're literally just stuck in the middle of a puff path.
Yeah.
A lot of the time.
More and more restaurants and bars are being encouraged to have outdoor dining. So every bar and restaurant is just throwing up chairs and tables and boards outside as well.
They're very hard to navigate.
Are they?
Yeah, especially if you're unaware that they're after being put there. You know, you're trying to find your way and you're trying to find a safe, clear path. It's not easy, especially if you're using a cane. You know, your cane is hitting off of all these things and you're kind of saying, what are they?
Yeah, because like you'd have your routine of going maybe to get the bus or go to the dart or whatever. And then suddenly one day you're walking along and there's suddenly tables and chairs there. You're going, this wasn't there. What's going on? Yeah, exactly.
And I suppose some businesses, to be fair, have clearly cordoned them off with kind of a clear boundary or barricade around them, and that's perfect, whereas other businesses haven't. So I suppose it's, again, just to urge businesses to make sure the tables and chairs are tucked together, to encourage customers using that space to make sure that they put shopping bags and things like that under the tables and chairs so they don't pose as trip hazards, because injuries can occur, and I suppose it's just to, as I said, remind and to alert people to these.
What about cars? Because parking is at a premium, particularly around the city.
Yeah.
If you mount a curb and leave an appropriate distance, we're seeing this red car here, it's probably not leaving much of a distance.
Yeah, but you still get through.
Like, if you can leave a bit of a distance, is that appropriate, or is that still, you know, you shouldn't be going up on the curb?
It shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm going with my cane, and I also have the added thing of I have a 3-year-old daughter, so she obviously has to hold my hand.
Yeah.
And I'll never fit the two of us through a gap that small, and you're kind of going, well, the alternative is to go out on the roads, and then that in itself poses another risk.
That's a danger there.
So, you know, it's just people being mindful of, you know, I'll be 2 seconds could be a dangerous situation for somebody else.
Yeah. And one thing that when just reading the notes here that I would never have thought of was hanging branches. And it's obvious, that thing, because you could literally damage yourself, scrape your face.
I've had so many scratched eyes from hanging branches.
Really?
Yeah.
Just when you're walking along.
Just walking along, and they just literally come out of nowhere, especially when you can't see them, so you can't duck to avoid them.
Yeah.
And what about dog poo? Because that's something that infuriates me. But if if people are just leaving it on the floor and you don't see it, I mean, that must be even more frustrating, Jade.
It is, because, again, you're walking with your cane, you're not going to see it. You're not necessarily going to smell it until it's too late.
Oh.
Like, imagine going into a restaurant or to a doctor's surgery with that on the end of your cane. Like, it's not pleasant.
Yeah.
It really isn't. And then people in wheelchairs as well, they're trying to get around and it's on the wheel.
Or even on the wheel of, like, it's happened where it's been on the wheel of my daughter's buggy and I'm having to ask somebody sighted, like, can you please help me clean this? And it's just not, it's not pleasant at all.
Yeah. Jade, what would you like, or June, what would you like to see be done around this campaign that you're trying to launch?
I suppose we'd like to see more conversations happening around people's dinner tables, that they are alert to, oh, I saw this campaign, and it might lead to their change in their own behaviour or change in behaviour of their own family and friends. And also we'd like to see more dog fines being issued.
Enforcement, yeah, exactly.
The research we carried out showed that vast majority of local county councils are imposing maybe 1 or 2 fines a year, if that. And I suppose it's just evident that it's not a key deterrent to those minority dog owners who don't pick up after their dog. And so greater enforcement is needed in that as well.
And small things like that, like move your bin in.
Just
and
public awareness.
Yeah, public awareness. If you have a hanging hedge outside your...
Cut it back.
Cut it back.
Yeah.
It's very simple. Go out today and cut it back. Take
Don't
your
park
bin
your car
in. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
How will people find out more about the campaign?
They can easily just jump onto our website, ncbi.ie, or follow us on any of our social media, #ClearOurPaths, and even share pictures of instances that they've come across too in their own locality. And I said it's really just to start this conversation and to remind people the little things that they can do.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for coming in. June Tinsley, Head of Communications at the NCBI, and of course Jade McCormack. Brilliant to have you with us again this morning. And please do get in touch as well if this is something that really frustrates you at home. 0896 111 111.
Now, Miriam, what's coming up the rest of the show?
It's just fascinating, the things that we don't think about, isn't it? When you don't have to. You know, it's unbelievable from some of the community. Great chat, and thank you for coming in. And still to come this morning, we're going to be speaking to the wonderful Kathryn Thomas. She's dropping by for a chat. Deric is live from the Dublin Horse Show, where I believe he's going to be plaiting a horse's tail. Tommy's telling me this is a big deal in the community. And we're serving up Mexican tacos in the kitchen. IrelandAM is back in just a few minutes. You are very welcome back to Wednesday's Ireland AM.
Coming up very shortly, TV presenter and broadcaster Kathryn Thomas is going to be here to chat about separation anxiety ahead of her daughter starting primary school.
Brings you back. Brings you back.
Cute in their uniform.
And you're dying to get her back into it so she can go
I'm like,
out of the house.
Get back in there now, yeah.
Now, from the cereal press to the homework station, we're going to be having a selection of storage solutions for the new school term.
The cereal press.
That we were wondering earlier on, did you not have a cereal press?
I don't know, yeah. Everything was lashed in there.
Yeah, that's where we had the mixer and all that kind of stuff.
Anyway,
It's the cereal
get it
press.
all out. Storage solutions, that's what we need, yeah. Now, also, Alan is getting this Mexican cooking. Oh, very excited about this. Alan, tell us more.
Yes, Tommy, Chef Scott Holder is serving up in style with, look at this food truck. Isn't it amazing here this morning? Scott, what's on the menu for us?
So we've got a tangy chicken tinga taco with some sliced
tangy
avocado.
chicken tinga. What's a tinga?
Chicken tinga, it's just a really tomatoey, tangy, limey chipotle.
Did you make this name up yourself?
No, absolutely not.
The tangy chicken tinga. Tommy will love it. So lovely, good Mexican tacos coming up a little later on. Looking forward to that. And we'll be talking
100%.
about this food truck. And of course, Hollywood came calling as well. And we'll be chatting about some Hollywood stars that have been using his services. Now, Deric is at the Dublin Horse Show this morning. How are you getting on, Deric?
Yes, Al, day one of the Dublin Horse Show kicking off a little bit later on this morning as the drawing settle starts. Some showers through parts of the west feeding across the country. Jessica Burke, you look forward to it, Jess?
How are you? Yeah, I am. There's a great buzz around the place here, and it's the first time we're back in 3 years, so I can't wait to get going.
Back in 3 years, we're going to be chatting to Jess and some of the show jumpers later on this morning. Back to you guys in studio.
Thank you so much, Deric. It's time now to take a look at this morning's paper, starting with the Irish Times. Its headline: Irish Catholics demand changes in church. Demands by Irish Catholics for major changes in the church's attitude to women, the LGBTIQ+ community. Those who are divorced or remarried and single parents have been sent to Rome.
Threat to junior cert results in row over teacher working hours. That's the front page of the Irish Independent. Some junior cycle students may not get the results because of a row over teachers refusing to attend meetings after normal school hours.
The Examiner leads with €8 billion plan to extend cuts to fuel tax. The emergency reduction to fuel excise will be extended well into next year as part of the €8 billion plus budget day plans to ease the burden on the increased cost of living that it's having on families.
The Mirror's headline is, I'm a love cheat and I can't resist. Ryan Giggs has told the court he is a serial love rat who has never been able to resist attractive women.
The Star's front page: Pedo's prison shocked locals in County Louth's village have sent out a stern message to a now convicted paedophile, stating, don't show your face here ever again.
The Herald goes with Gran beaten to death at home. Gardaí fear grandmother Miriam Burns was beaten to death in her home by someone known to her.
The Sun leads with pop idol Darius dead. Pop idol legend Darius Campbell-Dinesh was found dead at 41 in his US flat weeks before he was to star in a reunion show.
And finally, give women equality in the church is the top story on the Daily Mail. Women should be ordained as priests and not be treated as second-class citizens by the Catholic Church in Ireland. A hard-hitting new report has declared.
A few messages in about that as well. Paul, who was a mass goer every Sunday. We have no priests in our parish since July. There has to be a change ASAP. There are only old priests and no young ones starting because of the unrealistic rules. Allow priests to get married, give them the option at least, and treat it like a profession. And other people saying women should be women should be included. Celibacy must go.
Totally.
Also talking about obstacles on footpaths. We're talking about people with visual impairments and how frustrating it is. We're talking everybody encouraging outside dining. So there's tables and chairs, and then there's wheelie bins, cars parked, and how frustrating it is. Terry sent a message to say he had a below-knee amputation a year ago. Moved back to my apartment at the start of January and can't get out of my apartment if I don't have my leg on. I got my chair with thanks to the local people and able to do darkness into light here in Bray. But there's lots of obstacles out there for people in wheelchairs, even footpaths, small potholes on the footpath or in the street, inclines of any sort of railroad crossings, people who park on the footpath is very, very frustrating.
And Jade even said earlier on when she was talking to us, who is visually impaired, hanging branches. She's been hurt so many times and scraped, and just for like simple things like that, go out and cut your hedge.
I think
she's walking down the
walk
street.
with her daughter as well, like how difficult it is.
I think there was a thing when they were doing, when they're taking up footpaths to put down cable, like fibre, broadband and everything, they relay it, they patch it up really badly.
Yeah.
There was a thing in our area where the council got so many letters about there was a wheelchair user and they were like, are you kidding me? Like, I can't do anything, I'm falling over.
Come on, we'll get on to this story.
Something that we did see online yesterday, that Phil O'Kelly, a guy from Dublin who lost a bet. He lost a bet and he had to get this on him. Have a look at this. Would you like Marty Whelan on you? There you go. There's Marty Whelan.
I'm sorry, hold on a second. That is an excellent likeness of
excellent
Marty.
Marty
Whoever that
Whelan.
tattoo artist is, bravo, my friend.
It is. It's in Temple Bar.
It's Temple Bars, live fast.
Tattoo artist in Temple Bar, live fast.
But we wanted to look for some.
Look at him. He wanted it on his bum, and the tattoo artist said, no, you can't have it on your bum, we'll put it on your leg.
It was him and his friend had a bet over fantasy football, who had the most points at the end of the season, and of course he lost. His friend would have only got a lion tattoo.
Which Marty Whelan.
Marty Whelan. But we went and we had a look for some more other good pictures as well out there. I'm trying to find out where they all are.
Let's have a look at them.
Let's have a look. Here's Bono.
Oh, that's a very good Bono.
That is an excellent. But like, I'm expecting some of the Terry Rogan statues in Limerick to be coming up on this thing.
What else have we got?
Westlife is next.
Westlife. All of them.
Oh my God. Come on.
Oh wow.
That's a fan.
And that Shane has a double chin and everything. I was like, Shane doesn't have a double chin. We've got Sinead O'Connor here now as well. That's beautiful.
That's really
oh my
good.
God. That is beautiful.
I know, but
it doesn't look like Sinead O'Connor,
It does. It does. Back in
it
Nothing Compares to You days. Although there's kind of a green tinge from like Wicked.
What about Father Ted?
Oh, we had Father. Oh, look, and we had Dougal on yesterday.
That's
really good.
Father
have we
Jack?
any really dodgy ones?
Father Jack there as well.
Oh, look at these are too good.
That's for your entire life. Your entire life, when you start wrinkling, it'll get even better.
Let's have a look at a few dodgy ones.
Let's have a few dodgy ones.
This is Swords. This is one for Swords in County Dublin.
Oh, God. Somebody got Swords, County Dublin.
In case they forget where they live, just tell the taxi driver.
Are you having a laugh?
What about Guinness?
That's a bit artistic. Swords, County Dublin, right down your arm.
Can we have
Sheeran would have in his arm.
It does. Can we have We've got an Irish baked potato. Don't know what's so Irish about it, but we'll see. Is the picture there? No, it's us.
We're the baked potatoes. Listen, if you have any dodgy tattoos that you've got over the years, please take a picture and send them to us.
There
we
must
would
be some
love
worse ones
to
than
see
that.
them. There has to be worse, because they're all quite good.
Like even
Swords,
your local
County
football
Dublin.
club or something, and it's turned out terribly.
But even the ones you regret, like a friend of mine got one when she was 16, and she's just mortified.
Or Chinese letters that didn't actually work out to mean what it was meant to be.
Or chicken chow mein. You know it says chicken chow mein.
Send in some good ones. We'd love the good
Kathryn, have you any tattoos?
0896 111 111.
None. But I love that Marty Whelan one. I might consider it.
It's going to become a rule in RTE. You all have to get a Marty Whelan tattoo. Do you know what's coming up next? Kathryn. There we go. We're talking to Kathryn next about her tattoos. Back in a minute.
Our next guest is a staple on our TV screens and the pride of Carlow.
The pride of Carlow, Kathryn Thomas. Move over, Sean O'Brien, to mind him when you play rugby.
Move over, Sean.
Whatever.
Exactly.
How are you doing?
Sure, I'm mighty.
We're sitting here. Tommy's just going, the shoes. Give us a look at them.
Look at the shoes.
But then it's not just the shoes, it's the earrings as well. It's like, could like match. I mean,
Tommy, I have brought
impressed.
the colour, the coordination for the two of you this morning. Not that you don't.
But it's a
always
night
colour
out for you, is that it?
This is it. I don't get out anymore. So I'm like fully, you know, any chance to get dressed up, even if it's 7:15 in the morning.
You're going to do it.
Like, we're bringing it.
Because the last time you were here, you had Grace was in the old belly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
How are you getting on?
She's not in the belly anymore.
She's out.
She's out. 9 months, 10 months, 10 months, I think.
And Ellie with her, aren't they, Javine?
Yeah, so I left them this morning and they were both fast asleep. So,
Dream.
right, today we love them.
Yeah,
Today we love
exactly.
them.
Although it's always the day that you leave that they sleep on. It's the day that you want to be there and you have a bit of peace.
I know. But no, they're great. They're great. So, yeah, we've just had, I mean, I kind of went back to work quite quickly after having her.
Yeah.
And then because I was able to do that and then knowing that I'd have the summer pretty much with them. So I kind of front-loaded, so I was able to have kind of all of the summer with them. So
you had Operation Transformation and you had Grace pretty shortly before that.
Yeah, so she was born in October. I went back sort of December.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how did you manage to...
She was in the car, on the boob, on set, just wherever I was, she was with us. And you know yourself, like when they're that little, actually, they're so much more, you know, they travel so much easier.
Yeah.
So for us, it was, you know, and that was like I just said to the lads, you know, the crew who I've known for 100 years, like this is, if we can make this work, I can do it. If we can't, we won't.
But it's so, because I was looking at Louise Galvin, who was on the Kerry team during the All-Ireland. You know, she was leaving halftime, going in and feeding her baby.
Yeah.
And just seeing that this can happen in so many, like we've seen it in the Italian Parliament and Parliament Solar.
Yeah.
Seeing that this is a reality for people because you had to go back to work.
Yeah, and I think, you know, when you... And also, I have to say as well, when it's going back to work, I was going back to work 3 days a week. It's not like, you know, for so many other people that you have to be in at a desk 9 o'clock. I wouldn't have been able to do that.
Yeah.
So it was just the job that I had, and I was very fortunate that I was able to do it, you know.
Yeah.
So it was like 3 days a week, and half of one of those days was in my wardrobe recording voiceover. So instead of going to the studio, we set up a little kit. And again, this is what COVID has taught us. You know, we can actually do it. So poor Steve, every Wednesday morning, I was like, out, feed. Okay, let's go. Give me the script. So me and Steve know each other very well.
Everybody knows you very well.
But Steve recording it for you.
Steve was recording the voiceover, yeah, on Zoom.
I'm just seeing all our fellas behind the camera and not making eye contact, going, don't even think about it, O'Connell. You're not getting pregnant and doing something like that.
I'm presuming Ellie wasn't in the house because she'd obviously be a bit louder and there can't be any VO going on whenever you have a 4-year-old in the house.
She was in preschool.
Okay.
So, and then she's starting into big school in September.
Oh.
Are you feeling that way? Are you feeling weepy?
I am, and I never kind of was before, but oh no, like first day at school, it's like, it's going to be big, it's going to be emotional.
It is, it's a big step.
It's a big step for them, you know, and I think, and actually, it's not that big a step for them. It's a big step for you as a parent, you know.
For both. Have you got the uniforms and stuff? Because like
the uniforms,
tried it on and stuff.
Yeah, no, like because we went to, I'm an ambassador for Lidl. I'm a Loopy Loo ambassador, and again, just because everybody knows going back to school, it's so expensive, it can be so pricey, and so we were straight into the middle aisle, uniforms, shirts, polo shirts. So brought her in there, and we got little colouring books and copybooks and stuff like that. So she's looking forward to it. Like she's not that fazed by it. It'll definitely be more us on day one, I think.
Because how does she feel about it? Because when it's the first day to school, like I'd say for Emma last year, you get loads of new things. You're like, oh, new bag.
New bag.
A pencil case.
Yeah.
Sparkly bags.
Yeah, new lunch box. That's the thing. We went into Lidl and we picked it out and picked all our little bits. And, you know, she's getting excited about, in fairness, she loves her food as well. So being able to kind of go in and pick what she wants, the little snack carrots and raisins and bits and pieces. So I'm kind of going that way and it's working for us. So I'm just, you know, I don't know, maybe there'll be a major meltdown on day one.
It's funny as
I
always.
would imagine that's for me.
That's for you.
This thing with the picture at the front door. Isn't that always a thing?
Yeah. Have you done that?
Oh, we did that.
Yeah,
well, no, I wasn't there. I was on the show here. So I had to FaceTime and they're all getting the pictures at the front door.
Did you fake it when you got home later on that day?
Well, no, it didn't really work.
Did it not? She was wrecked.
She was wrecked. The hair was bedraggled. She had the best day ever.
But you know, funny, my mom had something to do the first day. So our little brother is 13 years younger. So I actually brought him to his first day at school.
Wow.
Because my mom had to go off and do something. I can't remember, something happened. And I had to bring him to his first day at school. And there's a photograph of me outside with him. And I remember, like, that sort of maternal instinct, me, like 13, going, oh, hello.
Everyone in Carlow going, what happened over summer? Where did Kathryn get this grown child? What's happening here?
She's had a busy one.
But it's kind of that expense as well, I suppose, of thinking of, you know, going back to school. So you're in a school, that's fine. You don't have to, like, be buying loads of branded things.
Yes.
Because that's what we talk about this on the show all the time, of kind of like, oh my God, the cost of the books. And they're so small as well.
The jumpers that are embroidered and everything else.
Yeah, no, in fairness, in Ellie's school, they had a uniform swap. So we did that. That was at the end of the last term. So you could go and you could find and pick up bits and pieces. Yeah. And again, then we got one crested piece done. But other than that, into Lidl, go and get the stuff, you know, that you don't need, and you always overbuy. That's what I would say to parents as well. And that's certainly what people have been saying to me. You know, you've all year to pick up bits if you need to. Don't go
and splurge it all early on, particularly with the cost of living at the minute. Exactly. Hey, tell me, you're back on the radio, covering for Ray Darcy at the minute. How are you finding it?
Yeah, love it. I have to say, I love it. It's just getting out of the house a bit like this. I'm so excited to be here.
Do you get all the glam on as well for that?
I know, I don't get dressed up for radio like this, it's just for you guys. But no, it's brilliant. You know, a couple of weeks in the summer, and it is, you know, I just love the variation. You know, 1 minute you could be talking gardening, the next thing you could, like, we were talking to the king of chemo
Marty Whelan
yesterday.
Then as well, then
we had Marty Whelan on.
I mean, come on.
Do you know? So it's it's good fun, and it's nice and light, and it's great crack.
What do you have to do to get your face tattooed on someone's bum? What are you going to have to do? Because Marty's like, he's there. He's like, this is going to become a competition in RTE now. To be like, whatever about the RTE canteen, it's now who gets their face on someone's person.
I want my face tattooed on someone's bum. How do we go about this?
Marty Morrissey, I found a tattoo. Someone had Marty Morrissey tattooed on their leg as well. Just written, not his face.
What is it about? We've got to change your name to Marty.
Oh, maybe. That's it. Marty make the best tattoos.
Do you have no one? There's no Tommy Bow.
No.
There has to be.
No, I don't think so.
Someone in Monaghan and each. We'd know about it. You would have been sent it at this stage.
No one is wild enough.
Someone
to do
draw
that.
him on yourself now and send us in a picture. 0896 111. But with all of that, like, kind of handling with doing the radio and the TV and kind of going all that time, how are you finding kind of the modern day world of television? Because you've been doing it for a while. You got to do the travel stuff. Yeah. You've both done travel shows. You did your job, but it was great. And now you're kind of owned by social media as well.
There is that. And, you know, I mean, there is a lot of trial by social media, as we all know. But, you know, I just think you go out and do what you do and keep doing it. Yeah. Like for Operation... Oh, there's my phone. Is that my phone? Oh,
what's that for?
That's my alarm. That's my alarm.
That's her alarm.
That's my alarm.
Do the kids sleep until
FaceTime? It could be Ellie on phone to FaceTime. Go and get her up on screen. It'd be
Are there parents at home going, do your children sleep until 8:30? Do they?
I have no idea. It says what the alarm is for, but I don't even know at this point.
It would have been so funny if we had answered it on air.
It's her alarm going, that's the time I'm finished talking to those two idiots on television.
Talking about the trial by social media.
Yes, I'm going to be hung, drawn and quartered for that now. By your floor manager.
More
Steve is
alarms.
looking at me now going, oh.
I'm always petrified that my phone's going to be... It's always like buzzing in the background here trying to ask a serious question.
It's totally fine. Do you know what? It's so lovely seeing you. And
lovely to see you too.
Look at those shoes.
Nah, she looks fab. It's amazing.
Tommy, we give you a go. Do you want to go?
We need those bright colours in the morning. Listen, we're still in summertime as well. Haven't hit school time yet. Kathryn Thomas, thank you so much for joining us. And all the best to Ellie on her first day in school.
Thank you so much.
It's exciting.
Thanks for staying with us. Now, we're outside this morning because we're at this very fancy food truck serving up a taco dish in style.
Yes, Scott Holder from Los Chicanos, the food truck.
You should have read that before. What's it called?
Chicanos.
That's it.
Chicanos.
So we got it.
Chicanos.
With a nice accent.
Yeah, I was trying to put on the Mexican thing. I mean, it is an impressive truck. Good morning to you, Scott. How are you getting on?
Very good.
We've got chicken tacos.
We have, yeah. So
go on, you want to throw the chicken in first of all,
I'll get
don't
started,
you just get that started, then we'll
So
chat.
I'm going to get started just by adding a little oil and sweating off my onions.
Okay. It's very weird when you're doing a cooking item and we're standing out here waiting on it, like the people queuing up that you'd get at your truck.
And then we're going to just season this chicken. And we're going to add it to a nice hot pan.
Okay. And that's just 2 chicken breasts?
Yeah, 2 chicken breasts.
And would chicken breast normally be done in that space of time? You'd have all this pre-prepared, though, would you, normally?
Normally, yeah. I mean, we would cook this ahead.
Yeah.
But this'll be cooked in time.
Come here, where did the idea of the van come from, of the food truck? Because it is...
I think I was working in kitchens in America for a long time, and food trucks are a big part of culture over there.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's a really fun part of the food culture there, and I cooked with a lot of Mexican chefs in all these kitchens and learned about Mexican food and just really enjoyed it. And then when I came back to Dublin, I found that we had no real food truck culture and also very little Mexican food. So.
And it's funny because the pandemic helped the food truck industry because it brought it on. Kitchen places were closed and everybody was queuing up food trucks and coffee wagons all over the country.
Massively, and it's funny because when I started, there was a bit of a delay in getting this, but when I started, there was kind of no food trucks here.
Yeah.
And then COVID came and suddenly we're...
So where did you get this food truck? Because you see the little ones everywhere, but this is a beast.
Yeah, it's a bit of a beast. So I went over to Los Angeles.
Okay.
And bought this truck primarily because they use them a lot over there. They're like UPS.
You continue to do whatever you need to do while you're chatting to us.
They're UPS and postal trucks over there, and they're because they're so big and square and high for me.
Yeah, perfect.
They're really good for food trucks. Whereas over here, everything is kind of round.
Small, small.
So that was why I kind of went to such lengths to go and get it.
So what are you doing there? You're sweating off some onions.
Yeah, so I'm sweating off my onions here. And then I'm also frying my chicken.
And what else goes into it? What's the sauces?
So right now we're going to make the sauce. So we are going to zest some lime.
Is it? Tommy's already had one.
It's really, you can really taste the lime in it.
Really good,
in the sauce, it's gorgeous.
I always use all the zest in any citrus, really, whether it's orange or lemon or lime. It's good not to waste it, and it just adds that extra little bit of flavour.
I'd eat yours.
Come on.
Go on. Okay, so you've it's 1 full lime zest, is that?
Two, yeah.
Okay, great.
Okay, that's done.
We're going to slice these up then, and we're going to add in the juice.
So are you a big fan of Mexican food yourself?
I love Mexican food, and I've travelled all around Mexico. So
amazing.
Yeah.
Tell us about Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe, yes. So I think it was about 2 weeks ago. And we were pretty booked up with some events, and I got a last-minute phone call to basically ask if we'd go and cook for Russell Crowe. He's doing a film here, and they had some of the directors and producers, and they were doing a reading of the script.
Wow.
And they wanted to have a little...
And they just wanted a food truck outside while they were reading the script.
A little taco and margarita night, yeah.
Was this like in the amazing weather we had? So it was perfect.
Yeah, it was. So we did our whole taco menu, and we did
and did
margarita.
You meet him? And
I did, yeah.
Everyone else
I did.
There,
we were chatting away, and he was ordering tacos, and we did 4 different types of margaritas.
Oh,
so.
yeah.
Love it. It's great fun.
I'm just going to add in here now the agave syrup to add a little bit of sweetness.
Yeah. So what have we got? A couple of tablespoons of that?
Yeah. Then I'm going to add in our oregano.
Yeah.
And our toasted cumin, which I've just toasted in the pan and grinded in the pestle mortar.
Oh, okay. So the cumin seeds,
Cumin seeds, yeah.
So you toast them first and then grind them down?
Toast them and grind them in here, yeah.
Okay, right.
In there, some chipotle chili.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what I always say with chili is get your recipe and then add half of it.
Oh, right,
yeah.
okay.
And
then later
more,
on,
if you want
it. And if you want the rest of it, do. But at least then you've got a choice.
You
haven't.
It's too hot. Okay.
So that's just blended all together, is it?
Yeah.
What the tomato sauce? Is that tomato sauce? Tomato
So
puree?
we've got some comfy garlic here.
Oh, fancy. So not normal garlic.
It's basically garlic cloves that I cook in olive oil till they get really soft. Okay, and I keep them in. And then we've got our tomato here.
Okay, yeah.
And lastly, a cup of chicken stock.
Oh, chicken stock.
Amazing.
We'll give that a quick blend.
So tell me then, does this go over the chicken before you serve it? Is this...
I think it goes in with the chicken.
This goes into the chicken now,
yeah,
does it, while it's cooking?
This will go over our onions.
Oh, over the onions, okay.
And this is our sauce. And then lastly, we will put the chicken into there.
Ah, I see. Okay.
Turn up the heat.
And the grilled chicken goes in there.
Chickens are cooking
I
away.
have one here. Look at it.
I don't know if that one's going to be quite ready yet, so you have that one.
I'll have this one.
Go on, it's absolutely gorgeous.
So here, this is the what? And you put a little bit of avocado on the top of it. Then
I did indeed, yeah.
Now these are small, like these are baby tacos.
These are baby tacos, yeah. I thought we might do a few for you. So
oh yeah,
we'll warm up our tortillas here.
Tommy's going, yeah, I definitely need a few.
And I usually spray them with some water just to give them some nice moisture.
Okay, all right. So I could put them on the pan and then squirt with a little bit of water.
A little bit of water, yeah, and it'll just give them that nice.
Oh, okay, nice
moisture.
I mean, the sauce is gorgeous so well, isn't it?
Mmm.
Really, you can taste the lime, I thought.
Yeah.
Real zesty.
Really
so,
good. Don't taste them. That's done there, is it?
Nearly done now.
Okay, well.
So our tortillas, we'll just keep them here.
Do you know what? Keep them
nice
in there.
and
I think we're going to go to a break now, and we're going to go see Deric, who's live at the horse show.
But thank you very much for that. Keep going because the whole crew will be lining up.
Keep an eye out for this food truck. It is absolutely great. Electric picnic next.
Electric picnic, yeah.
Scott, now keep cooking there.
Well, keep cooking, Scott. Keep cooking.
We basically shred this chicken down now in the sauce, and that's it done.
Ah, I see. So you shred it there. Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Yes, as we said, the Deric's at the horse show, and that's coming up very shortly. Thanks for staying with us. Now, we stayed at Scott's food
Los
truck here
Chicanos.
because, look, Muireann had to try them. These beautiful tacos here. And I bet you can't beat this down at the horse show, Deric. No, you don't have this down at the RDS.
Lads, can you send some down? They look absolutely delicious. Anyway, we're live here from day one of the Dublin Horse Show in the RDS. We're joined now by two of the hottest young show jumpers in town, Jessica Burke and Jack Ryan. Good morning to you, Jess. How are you?
Morning, how are you?
Jess, it's great to see the crowds back, isn't it?
Oh, it's amazing. There's some buzz around the place. It hasn't been on since 2019, and we're very excited for the week.
Very excited. Now, you were a former teacher. You gave it all up to go show jumping.
Yeah, I was here in 2019. I got in from the national system. I jumped in the internationals. I definitely was underprepared, and I realised that, do you know what, I need to do this full time if I want to do it properly. So I made the move and moved to England, and now I'm back.
And a Galway girl in the UK, and of course it was a big one for you in Lisbon earlier on with the team as well, the Nations Cup.
Yeah, that was it. I kind of knew I needed to go professional if I wanted to jump on Nations Cups or whatever, and I suppose I achieved my childhood dream this year, really. I jumped my first Nations Cup in Lisbon and we won. It was a Friday night under lights and it was amazing.
Absolutely amazing. And over 100,000 people expected here over the next 5 days.
Yeah, oh my God, it really is an incredible show. Like, you know, you have the Afghan on Friday, the Grand Prix on Sunday, but that's just for show jumping. Like, outside of that, there's showing, there's Connemara ponies, side saddle, there's so many other classes. You can see the work in Hunter arenas here, you know, there's trade stands, there's something for everyone really.
And Jack, you've been show jumping since you were knee-high to a grasshopper. When did you first compete here at the RDS?
I'd say 10 years ago when I was 10.
So only a baba on a pony?
Yeah, I was only small, 12-2s. I think Jessica also started here in 12-2s. Yes. The Dublin Horse Show is always an amazing show. I always came here from when I could, still in a pushchair. I came here with my mother and father, and yeah, it is always an amazing show.
And we got shots there on screen of the warm-up area. Of course, a big one later on, of course, during the week. Tiger Roll is showing up, the former Grand National winner.
Yeah, on Saturday, Tiger Roll will be here. 3-time Grand National winner. Also, the Puissance is on Saturday. There's Ladies' Day is on Saturday as well, I think. So.
Ladies' Day is tomorrow.
Oh,
yeah,
tomorrow already,
tomorrow,
sorry.
Yeah. And, you might take part yourself.
I might, yeah.
But of course, later on, we might find out if you're on the Aga Khan team as well for Friday.
Yeah, hopefully. I'm part of the 5 at the moment for the Aga Khan on Friday. Michael Blake lets us know this evening what the team is, and yeah, fingers crossed. Hopefully it'll go well today.
Fingers crossed. Anyway, best of luck later on. Jess, we're going to pop over here because we've got the cutest little pony here. Jack, you're going to hold the mic because we're going to do our little pony flat challenge. So, Jess, what do we do? This is Teddy, by the way.
Yes, so you said you have a couple of sisters. Have you ever plaited their hair?
No, I've never plaited their hair.
Right, okay.
Let's go.
You need to take a piece and then try and divide it evenly into three.
Divided evenly into three. Teddy's lovely and quiet, by the way, isn't he?
Hopefully.
He's a paratrooper, yeah. Okay, into three.
Yeah,
Here we go.
My groom, Alia, is up there in the stables, and I'm sure she'll be disgusted at me because I'm probably not doing this good enough. But yeah, so into three.
Into three pieces, here we go.
I start on the right and cross over.
Cross over.
And then the left one to the middle.
We've got a little bit of Black Beauty music playing as well. Back in base, I love it.
And then just keep going.
Thank you. Oh, here we go. Look at this.
As tight as you can.
Tight as we can. Okay, keep her nice and tight. Oh, look at this.
You're not too bad, Deric.
Oh, not too bad. Jack, how are we doing there?
Very good.
Very good. Okay, we have 30 seconds left on this. I love a little challenge. Here we go. Oh, look at that.
See who's quicker.
Now, come here. And you start early. 7 in the morning is when you be mucking out, right?
Yeah, we start at 7 every day on the yard, and then be on a horse by 8, hopefully. That's
pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh,
have you got a band?
And we have a little band here. Hold on now. Steady as we go. Oh, here we go.
Mine's broken.
Oh, yours broken. Here we go. 3, 2, and... Oh, I can't get it through. There we go. Look at it. There we go. And I believe, Tommy, your mum, Anne, used to have you up on a pony when you were only a wee baba as well. She loves the horse show up in Leslie, Castle Leslie.
She's going to be there.
I was told that earlier on.
She's going to be there today, Deric. Keep an eye out for her.
Your mum's going to be there.
Yeah.
All right, we'll say hello to Mum.
You'll just go straight up to Mrs. Bow and start plaiting her hair.
She'd actually love that.
Would you look at this little... Imagine
that.
Common assault.
Yeah, I used to have to do that back in the day, yeah.
You had to do all that?
It wasn't very good.
Anyway. Oh, God, there we go. The poor pony.
You have to do it in M&M to see if you get any better. Still to come with Coronation Street. Now, I don't know if you've been watching it. It's been
great
really
story.
serious, but such a good storyline. They're recently tackling loneliness with the Audrey Roberts storyline. We're going to be discussing the impact loneliness can have on older people.
With the kids heading back to school in the next couple of weeks, we're going to have a selection of storage solutions, from sorting your clothes to getting the lunch boxes ready.
And in fashion, if you're feeling stuck in a style rut, we're showcasing some new looks to update your wardrobe. Tommy just keeps looking behind because he wants more taco.
These are so good, Scott.
We've seen another hour
They're so good. They're amazing. These are... Welcome back to the last hour of IrelandAM today.
Now, coming up very shortly this week on Coronation Street, well, we're not got Coronation Street coming up now, but the soap highlighted the toll of loneliness with the new Audrey Roberts storyline. After 9, we're going to be discussing the impact of loneliness on older people's mental health, and Ann Talbot, is outside, lovely lady, is going to be talking about it. And I think it's a big topic. It's raised a lot of awareness.
Yeah, and it's certainly something that I suppose during COVID it was brought up for an awful lot of people who were living by themselves, who weren't able to interact, but it's still something that is ongoing amongst people. We'd love to hear from you. 0896 111 for something slightly different if you're in need of some organising hacks ahead of the children going back to school. We'll have you covered with our queen of decluttering from a sorted affair, Kim Fitzgerald. She will be here.
Alan is always outside as well. He's got the fashion. Alan, how are we getting on?
Thank you, Tommy. Yes, stylist Sarah Rickard joins us now, and it's all about trying to break out of a style rut. Is that what you're looking at this morning?
Exactly. I think we've all felt kind of lost on what to wear from our wardrobe, so I'm trying to inspire you today. I have a lot of clients coming to me saying that their wardrobe just doesn't work for them anymore. So hopefully today's look...
But you don't have to get rid of everything, do you?
Not at all, but I'm just hoping to kind of lure you out of your leggings.
Oh, right. We have a lovely look here.
Yes, this is a working from anywhere look that Sarah is wearing. So these are pieces that I think everyone should have in their wardrobe, whether you work from an office or you're a stay-home mum. They're just really versatile pieces that you can mix into your wardrobe.
Oh, cool. Looking forward to fashion a little later on. And Deric is at the RDS in Dublin, the first day of the horse show. How's the weather looking, Deric?
Yes, Al, a little bit of mist coming down here, but can I just say, Teddy is an absolute internet sensation. How many followers does he have online?
He's actually got 164,000 on Instagram and 260,000 on TikTok.
260,000 on TikTok. TikTok is Teddy the Shetland. Teddy the Shetland online. Get following this cute little guy. Oh, he's gorgeous. Oh.
Are you with them, Deric?
Yeah, get in there with your stars.
You can always do with that, couldn't we?
We'll have more from the horse show in just a little while. Welcome back. We were talking about the tattoo, the best tattoo that ended up with the fella getting Marty Whelan tattooed right
on his leg.
There. Amazing. And you know what? We were thinking, who's the best person to get a tattoo of? Oh me, oh my, you
Joe
make me
Dolan.
smile, you're such a
Good-looking woman. Oh, God. Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
Here's looking at you.
I think there's quite a few people with tattoos of Joe Dolan, though.
I know.
isn't there?
Really?
That's not
Yeah,
a great...
I think that's a thing that people have done.
Maybe not.
Okay, let's
Thanks
have
for
another
sending
one.
it in.
We have another one here. The cast of 1952, The Quiet Man.
John
That's one of my
Wayne.
favorite. Oh my
Look
God.
at that. John Wayne, Maureen
Why?
O'Hara and Barry Fitzgerald.
Why?
This is on Teresa's in Carlow, and we got this sent in.
That's
What
on
do you
her
mean?
back.
Sorry, what do you mean? Why? Micheline O'Flynn, one of the best characters ever. I love this movie. It's a brilliant
That's her
movie.
whole
Teresa
But you
in
really
Carlow.
went to you. Have you
Do
ever
you
seen my
question
back?
why you got that now?
No,
I'm sure
with,
she's questioning it.
I'm with you, Teresa. That was part of. No, I'm with you. That's a great tattoo.
Would you get it?
I wouldn't get any tattoo, so it doesn't matter. I wouldn't get any. It's better than one of your man from One Direction looks like he's got an Etch-a-Sketch on his body. It's all just little doodles. Louis, isn't that it?
Wow.
That is him. And we've got another tattoo picture in here now. This is of a little horsey. I think that we can see. There we go.
Oh, there's me and the horses there.
This is the Monaghan Pony Club.
That's the Monaghan Pony Club. There you go. Look.
And there's
Tommy on his way to the horse show.
Tommy's in the middle there in his little pony.
My mum had this picture yesterday because you can see Alicia is on the right there. So we did an interview with Dinkin's Bakery, which has got like massive bakeries all around Monaghan. And Alicia was the daughter of the bakers. There you go.
And did your mum, did she write on the
Well,
picture?
she took that to the show yesterday in Monaghan, and I didn't expect to see it today.
Little Tommy on his little pony, isn't it so lovely? Thank you for sending those in, and
My
thank
job
you
personal, yeah, it was not a good look.
to Mrs. Oh, we need a full picture of the jodhpurs and the hat.
Yeah.
We're going to work on that one. Now, after the break, we are going to be discussing the impact of loneliness in older people. So this is off the back of the Audrey Roberts storyline in Coronation Street, and we just
We've already
mentioned
got
it.
texts about it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm 54, I live on my own, and it's so lonely. You can be in a shop full of people and still be lonely. It's horrible.
That's at 54.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
we're
yeah.
thinking with older people. I'm 72, and I'm involved in a group called called Joy, and it stands for Just Older Youths. We meet every 6 weeks in the Marine Hotel in Sutton, and we have a blast.
So we're going to be talking about this because it's affecting people at an early age, 54. We'd love to hear from you. 0896 111 111 IrelandAM. We'll be back in just a moment.
You're very welcome back. Now, loneliness and social isolation is common in men and women of all ages, but in particular, our ageing society.
This week's Coronation Street explored this issue when Audrey Roberts, who we've seen for years on our screen and we adore, she revealed that she had been struggling with her mental health. Let's take a look.
When you reach those depths of despair, was there some kind of tipping moment?
No, not really. It just kind of crept up on me. And that constant feeling of uselessness. And my kids treating me like I was the child, you know, that really got on my nerves. So I began to think if they wanted to get rid of me, hoping I'd die and they could have all my money.
You don't really think about them like that.
No, they've got good hearts. And they've got their own lives.
To have grown old with Hayley would have been a great privilege.
Yeah. And me and Alfie could have fallen apart together.
It was an incredibly moving week with this storyline, and when Audrey had talked about, you know, the lengths that she was going to go to. We are joined to discuss this by the wonderful Ann Talbot, who is a member of Friends of the Elderly, and Deborah Costello, who's communications manager with Friends of the Elderly. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Ann wanted to ring and say, I'm not coming in talking to you today. She wanted to get out of this. She agreed to it, and she was like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, gosh, I'm not doing this, yeah.
But it's so lovely to have you here. And on the back of this storyline, Ann, there was a time in your life when you did feel very lonely and isolated.
I did. When my husband died, my husband and I, we met when I was 15 and a half and he was 20.
Yeah.
And we married when I was 19 and a half. And when he died, I knew he was going to die because he had 4-stage cancer.
There you are there on your wedding day. Beautiful picture.
Yeah, that's in Berkeley Road, yeah. And every time he used to pass for years after, he used to say, this is where I met my doom.
Of course. But you were together for over 50 years?
We were 50, when he died, we were 54 years married. and with 5 children. Yeah.
And so that was that 10 years ago?
Yeah, he was 10 years dead.
And tell me the loneliness and the difficult times. And even how hard was it to even open up? Because you mentioned you 5 children there. Were you able to open up and tell people the grief and the loneliness?
No, because you have to understand when anything happens like that, your children are grieving too. And they're grieving for you. So you have to try and give them space to do their own grief. They're grieving for their father too. And they'd ring me up because they're all wonderful to me, I have to say. And they'd say, how are you, ma'am? I'm coming home. And I'd say, I'm grand. But I just felt some days I just couldn't be bothered. What am I getting up for?
Was it why get out of bed? There's no point.
I remember going up to my doctor, Dr. Hayes, on the Navan Road, who was a lovely man. And he said, that's all part of grieving, Anne. He said, your sleep pattern goes because you're not sleeping at night, and when you should be getting up, you're falling asleep. You know what I mean? Because everything changes.
Yeah. Anything to distract yourself.
Yeah.
From the grief that you're feeling inside. And
the emptiness, I'd say, the loneliness.
The loneliness. Even though you knew your husband was going to die, it's the shock. Yeah. It doesn't matter. You're happy for them that they're out of their pain.
Yeah.
But your whole way life is gone.
Yeah.
But what do you do after that? Because honestly, your generation, with everything that you've gone through in life, you know, the hardships, the ups and downs, the societal changes. Is it hard, do you think, to open up, to kind of say, I need a little bit of help, I'm lonely? Because you just said there, you thought about your kids straight away. You didn't want to burden them.
Well, you see, the thing is, it's a different in Ireland. The Ireland that I grew up in, we were guilt-ridden about everything. My generation, not this generation, thank God, but like, if you did go to Mass, oh my God, you know, everything made you feel guilty.
Yeah.
And to talk about things like that, people didn't. And you could be looking out the window and seeing people going by and they're getting on with their life. You're saying, why are they all so happy and I'm not? And that's where Audrey came, you know. Yeah. She didn't want to tell her daughter.
Yeah.
And you can totally understand that because you've always been minding. These are your children. You want to protect them. You don't ever want to feel that they have to look after you. I mean, Deborah, you're here from Friends of the Elderly, and this must be something so common, a story you hear on a daily basis.
It really is. It's more and more common than we would actually think in older people, how they can feel. And I suppose it's the loneliness, it's the isolation. And we know that we live in a society where there are 400,000 people who feel lonely at some stage, and that was in a recent report in Tilda. And I suppose from COVID, from our point of view, from Friends of the Elderly's point of view with COVID, what we've experienced now is that, you know, there's a demand for our services has really increased. There's 54% of an increase in demand for our services. People want to start to feel as if they have a life again. They need that social interaction. They've spent so long, you know, being away from everybody else. And it's about those social interactions. And seeing people of Anne's age and all of our members who have that loneliness and seeing then the complete, you know, flip in them when they come into our services and they, you know, they integrate. It's really, that's the most powerful part of my job, is to be able to see that. Yeah. But to get that out to other people, yes, you can feel like Anne, you can feel like Audrey, but there are services out there for you.
Because what you just said is very interesting, Anne, that you're sitting at home and you see people going past the window and their life is going on and your life has changed irrevocably. That's it.
Yeah.
That you feel like you're split in two. Your person is gone.
Yeah.
So what was it for you that you said, I don't want to be like this anymore. I need something?
Well, first of all, I keep things about him. I keep it. He loved backing horses, guided, and he loved sitting in the kitchen, but he had this pain in his back and he had these cushions.
Yeah.
And he'd put them there.
Yeah.
You know, well, I've never moved them cushions in 10 years. They're there. That chair's there.
That's his chair.
And that pen.
That he used to do the bedding slips on.
Yeah,
Right.
Still there.
And you know, people, you can keep some little memories, but you have to say then, I have to get on with my life. And a girl just came in to me one day. I was around in the knitting club, and she said, "Anne, there's a form for you and Bernie." And it was a form for to join the Friends of the Elderly. And I thought, no, it's not for me, you know. Yeah.
You're like me, I'd be the same, something new, not
no,
for me.
Not for me. And we went in, and everybody was making us, coming over and talking to us. Still wasn't for me. And that's about 6.5 years ago.
Wow.
And what? It still wasn't for you?
No, and now my children are so happy for me.
Yeah.
And they ring me. My son Liam would ring me and he said, "Mum, I want to put her in my diary. When are you at home?"
Well, isn't that brilliant?
Yeah.
And that's the advice that you would have for people in a similar situation? Because we just saw Friends of the Elderly, the contact details coming up there. But the difference it has made to your life?
Dancing.
Amazing.
Yeah, they line dance. We have our own line now. They're lovely. They tried to teach me, but you know, it's
only so much they can do.
Gone.
You can sit down and be the strictly judge.
Yeah.
So judging everyone.
And the singing. You can get up and sing, and then you go out for days. The days outings are marvellous.
Yeah.
Now, next week is it?
Yeah, we're
going to Belfast.
Oh, you're off to Belfast?
Yeah.
I love the way, Deborah, where are we going next week? You're the social diarist.
We have, it's Senior Citizens Day, as we know, on this weekend. So we celebrate that on Friday. We're going to have a live cabaret and, you know, bring it in. Yeah, absolutely. And there'll be singing and dancing. And then next week we'll go off to Belfast as well. It's keeping people moving. It's keeping people active. It's giving them a different outlook, which is really, really important.
It's absolutely fantastic. And listen, I can't thank you enough, Anne, for coming in here today, because as you just said, some days you just don't want to get out of bed. And for you to said you didn't want to come in here today because you were nervous, and you've come in and you've spoken so eloquently about it. And
it was Alan Hughes made her come. She just wanted to spot Alan Hughes.
The text messages are already coming.
That's it, look at her.
So, Ann Talbot, thank you so much. And of course, Deborah Costello, Communications Manager of Friends of the Elderly. Thank you so much for coming in.
And you can find all the details, friendsoftheelderly.ie. A pleasure meeting you. Thank you so much for coming in. Absolutely amazing. There's lots more IrelandAM after the break.
Now, are you feeling stuck in a style rut post-COVID? Well, stylist Sarah Rickard is here now with some inspo pieces for your wardrobe.
Hello, it's lovely to have you. So we're all about getting on the stuff that isn't just elasticated in the old waist.
Exactly, yes. As I said, I'm trying to lure you out of your leggings, maybe give you some alternatives to gym gear. I have so many clients coming to me saying that their wardrobe just does not work for them anymore. Post-COVID, a lot of them will have had babies. You know, so much has changed, really, with our needs.
And when they look in the wardrobe, it's like, well, I wouldn't wear that anymore. I wouldn't wear that anymore. And you
Exactly.
feel like you're starting from scratch, and then you're like, I'm just going to give up. I'm just going to wear my leggings.
Absolutely.
I totally get that. So we're going to start today with Sarah.
Yes, so Sarah's look is the working from anywhere look. So as I said to Alan, these are the pieces that I think everyone should have in their wardrobe, whether they work in an office or they're staying home mom.
A little jacket, a blazer.
Yes, exactly. So first up, the earrings are by Paper Chain. This is a beautiful brand doing good. So they're actually made in Uganda, and the money goes towards helping street kids. So they are an excellent brand to check out. The necklace is by Hultquist, and I just love this. This is another trend that I'm seeing, wearing your bit of bling during the day, you know, and getting that longevity out of your nicer pieces. Then I've teamed it with the beautiful blouse by Sunku, which is kind of 70s, and again, this could be worn on a night out or to the office, so it is ticking a few boxes. The blazer, this blazer is incredible. It is just, there's no bulk. I know a lot of people, they don't want to add bulk with their jackets. Say they are carrying a bit of weight or they have a bigger bust. This is such a clean, long line blazer that hits just under the hips, which is super flattering. What I've done is I've tucked the top into the jeans to elongate the legs, and we'll talk about
So you're saying that everybody should have a blazer no matter what colour, a nice, well-cut blazer?
100%. Our lives have merged. Our casual and formal lives have merged, and now the blazer is the staple
piece, the
Kate
staple
Moss,
jacket.
my idol, and also
Exactly.
that underneath big coats. You're not going to notice that blazer.
Exactly,
it'll be
it is
great.
such a thin layer. That's a great point.
Now,
So
what are you
these-
doing with tucking this in?
Yes.
What are we doing styling here, wise? What's it doing for the
so
body?
This really works because it elongates the legs. And now, even if you have a bit of a tummy, but if you're wearing the blazer over it, you're kind of masking
Yeah.
it. So I think this works really well to give your legs a longer look. These Selena jeans are my best-selling jeans. They're absolutely fabulous. And I have a pair for you to try on, and I want you to give your honest opinion, because I love them.
Live on air.
Yes,
Let's
exactly.
go for it.
But they will not budge. Sarah could squash there, and they wouldn't budge. Also, the loafers are from Zara, and the bag selected.
And loafers are huge.
Yes, and they
this
just
year.
give a polish. So next up is Karina, the beautiful Karina. She is my mum on the run. So you get a call from your friends and they want to go out on Saturday night. And
Yeah.
the amount of clients that I have that say no to the invitation because they don't have the clothes.
Anything to wear.
It's really sad. So if you have these pieces in your wardrobe, you're not going to say no again when you get that
perfect.
call. So she's wearing earrings by Hultquist, which are the beautiful drop earrings in those coloured beads, and two necklaces, one shorter one and one longer one by Hultquist as well.
Celestial design staying very much. It's never going away.
Absolutely, yeah. And I don't know if that's a personal thing, but yeah, I definitely buy more Celestial pieces because I think they're
Gotcha.
gorgeous. This bright fuchsia top, so easy to wear, such a flattering style with the V-neck and the buttons down the front, and then that little ruche on the sleeve, which I think kind of, it cuts off at your kind of thinnest
Yeah.
part of the arm, so it works really nicely.
It'll be great with a slip dress as well. It'll be great with a leather skirt.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, again,
Lovely.
get so much wear out of it. And then these jeans, these are the Selena in black, and I think we can all agree that they look stunning on Karina, and Karina feels pretty good. in them
Karina,
too.
they do look, your legs look like, I know you're tall, but they look really long.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just
Thanks.
They look awesome. And then the shoes are just the piece de resistance. You could be wearing a black bag and those shoes, and all of your girlfriends would be like, oh my God, your
Match
shoes!
the bag with the shoes. the
Yes,
little bit of
exactly,
bling
yeah.
there with
So the
bag
little
as
bit of
well.
metallic. So the shoes and the
And then
bag are
let's
from
have a look
Zara.
at the shoes.
So I tried those on twice last week. Just like the line was too long in Zara. I couldn't be bothered.
it
I
is
was like, I put them
off-putting.
back.
It
but
is
they're
off-putting,
great.
but there's always online. There's always online.
Honestly, there you go. I go into the shop. Karina, you look amazing. Love that on you. And Gracie's here this morning.
Gracie is wearing the weekender look. So it's nice to have an alternative to jeans, and I know I'm all about trying other versions of jeans that aren't skinny, but it's also nice to have something a bit more feminine, maybe for the weekend, but something that's practical enough if you're running around after kids, or if you've got a night away with your partner or something that just feels a little bit more dressy. So look, it's a fail-safe with the white tee and the denim jacket. I think we probably all have them in our wardrobe. The pleated printed midi skirt isn't going anywhere either, but we'll
So
start.
we've been looking at the jewellery here.
Yeah,
so we've seen the earrings and the chain.
Yeah, the earrings
the
and paper
denim
chain
jacket.
again.
And everybody says a little denim jacket's going to get you through every season.
Absolutely,
And you'll have it for
and
years.
a good little layering piece as well. Like you could put a hoodie underneath it, when it gets colder, as in today. So that's
There's
why
the spaghetti straps freezing out here.
that's by My Essential Wardrobe, which is just a great brand that do really good essentials, and so is the tee.
Okay, can we talk about the t-shirt? How is that when it washes and with stains under the arms? Because people are always asking for proper white tees.
You tried and tested, and I will give you one to try and test because they are fantastic. The fabric in them is washable, and it just doesn't ball, it doesn't stain anything.
Yeah,
it's great.
Because when I count out how many 10-year-old t-shirts I buy in a year, it's 120 quid on t-shirts. And you
There
can't
you
believe
go,
it's that
there you
good.
go. And it's not massively expensive, $29.95. Then the skirt is French Connection, and it's that beautiful printed midi length skirt. Again, what a lot of us have in our wardrobe. Really easy to wear. I think this works because it works on a lot of shapes and sizes.
Yeah.
And that A line in particular. And then just the little beiges with the blue V, which are quite cute, kind of an update.
They're very cute. I
Yeah,
haven't
they're
seen that
nice,
colour in
aren't
them.
they?
Really
Yeah.
cute look, actually, isn't it?
Thank you, Gracie. That's gorgeous. Oh, listen, this is
Sarah's
knockout.
Woohoo!
Oh, that's a lovely dress.
Yeah, it's not just gorgeous. Now, I know Sarah can wear absolutely anything, but this is the special occasion look. So again, something you can have in your wardrobe that's not going to date. I know the print, is a print, but I think having it in those kind of monotones with the navies and the white, it isn't going to age.
And that's the thing to think about something like that. What's not going to date?
Exactly. And for me, it's all about wearing it to the occasion. So say you have a special date night with your other half, or you're going to a wedding or day two, whatever.
this is an ideal dress for that. And then you can wear your cream chunky polo over it and wear it as a skirt.
See, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
So with this, so wear a belt, put your polo neck over it, you're good to go. You can also wear it with your boots, ankle boots, knee-high boots. And your runners.
Again, it's so versatile, and you really need to think about that when you are buying occasion wear. You know, if you're going for something like this, it has to work for a few different
It does.
events.
You have to get your money worth. Those
and
are
then
lovely.
the shoes are River Island. They're just that padded, you know, that's a big trend at the moment. A padded mule, so they're quite cute too. And the dress is French Connection.
It's lovely, and the sleeve collar on it is really nice. Are you missing a bit of sleeves yourself?
Well,
Sarah's like,
certainly do.
I wasn't expecting it to be this cold. Like, are you finally cold? It's been all day.
Well,
Is that
actually,
cold?
no, it's a bit cold here. But thank you very much for that. Some great advice.
And everything, we can find you
styledby.ie or on Instagram at styled by Sarah Rickard.
There you go. You can ask her questions as well.
Absolutely, I love a question.
Good. Sarah Rickard, thank you so much. Cheers.
Tommy, what are you up to?
Thanks very much, guys. I'm back in here. It's nice and warm. It came from a sorted affair, but it is getting to that stage. Panic is starting to set in. School is approaching very quickly.
Very fast.
And it's the kids just trying to get organised. Have you any, you're going to have some tips for us to just get sorted?
Just to make the day run smoothly and start to kind of prep for that routine, because some of us have been, you know, chilling in our jammies till like 12 o'clock.
That's literally just what I was just saying. My kids
So we want to try and get that kind of routine back in everyone's life, and I've got some great tips to kind of help you get there quicker.
Okay, chat to you after the break. See you then. Now we're halfway through August, which means back to school is just around the corner.
Oh God, it's really weird, isn't it? So to make sure that you're not left dreading the return. Oh, there we go. It's not left dreading the return. You said one. Our Kim Fitzgerald from A Sorted Affair is here with some hacks for organising your home. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
And it's because some kids go back at the end of August. It's not into September.
I'm nearly 100% sure I seen someone in a uniform yesterday.
Oh,
I think in secondary
That
school,
poor
maybe.
kid.
I know, maybe first years or something like that.
Dear
But
God.
I had a shiver.
And speaking of uniforms, this is to try and get yourself organised with the uniforms.
Absolutely.
Now, you're terribly organised here.
Well, sure, listen.
Tell us what you do.
So these are just clear set of drawers. Pick them up at Mr. Price. You've only got 4, so we put Monday on the top, and then you label every day of the week and fill them. So you'll notice I haven't gone all the way down. Tommy did ask that question. So
because
obviously you'll have to
we
wash.
wouldn't have 5 separate uniforms.
But if you could do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, at least you know, okay, the kids are dressed for 3 days, and then say come Tuesday, fill Thursday, Friday.
Do they not just wear the one uniform?
They do, but you
yeah.
have to dress. You have to wash it, obviously.
Yeah, because trust me, they come home with paint,
So
and
you
milk,
won't,
and yogurt, and
so
everything.
you won't have Wednesday's one in if they have only the one because you're washing it.
You would have. So like you'd have a tracksuit, or you'd have
something that
and
they
then
need
some
at
children
those
don't
days.
have uniforms, so they would probably wear something different every day.
I like
but it's
it
great
because it's good for, but like my daughter's 5, so it gives
Independence.
independence.
Absolutely,
exactly. And
she'll love it.
She can go off and open the drawer and
That's
feel
it.
that she's
They
her
can
own
even
person.
make their own little labels themselves, and it's great for helping them read and understand the days of the week.
Because otherwise she'd open up the drawers and she'd want to put her little, she'd
exactly.
tinker with the
But
uniform
it's something they
stuff
could
like
do
that.
even the night before.
Okay,
And then
nice
obviously
idea.
if it's a gym day or something like
Absolutely,
that, then
the
we know
tracksuit.
if the tracksuit's
Exactly.
in on
it
Wednesday.
really helps. Yeah, it really
Right.
helps,
So
especially if you're
instead of-
having a hectic morning.
Instead of going searching the house on the morning,
Yeah,
going,
'cause that
where's
happens.
your gym bottoms?
Exactly.
They're actually in Wednesday's drawer.
Yeah, see, you're on board.
What about the return of homework? What have we
Return
got
of
for us there?
homework. So I've actually got this really cool little cart here. So if you didn't have a huge amount of space, I've created like a homework station so that children could put their school books in. They could have everything they need. If you didn't have space for this little grey number in front of you from the organised store is really handy, actually. And everything just sits in. You slide it in the press and they take it out themselves when they want to do the homework. So it's good for everything to stay together, because same thing. Where's my pencil? Where's my pen? I don't have a blue crayon. Or I had to bring a Lazy Susan. These little containers again from Mr. Price, just sitting in the Lazy Susan. Sit it in the press, take it out, put it in the middle of the table, and they have everything they need.
I like this one because
on the
if you
age.
had room, you could just pile everything onto it and just wheel it out of the way.
Absolutely. And it just means everything
mess
stays
out
together.
of it,
Again,
yeah.
teaching the children this is where this lives. I mean, you know, I can't promise it's going to happen all the time. And this little pink cart, it's very clever from Pennies. It folds flat as well. So when you don't need it, you can pop it away.
Fold it down.
Yeah, very clever.
What about lunch boxes?
Lunch boxes, getting up in the
Do you
morning.
prepare the night before?
Yeah, I do. I was wondering if you'd ask me that question.
So, like,
Surprise.
if you have 3 or 4 children and they're all trying to get out,
Exactly.
trying to do lunch boxes on the morning.
Come on, we'll have a go.
Clear containers, okay, so we can see everything, yeah? So fill them, pop them in the press, take them out and start like a little breakfast or, you know, lunchbox station. So there you go. So you
what,
literally...
you have like a little sandwich here?
Well, yeah, it's a fake sandwich, don't ask.
Made the night before.
Okay.
Can you guess? We'll do that later.
It's just
But you
piled
don't make the sandwich the night before, would you?
Sometimes it depends on what you're
just
doing.
once it's wrapped up.
I do. Yeah, once it's wrapped up and in the fridge, and then
what else do you put in it? You've little
whatever you want.
little
Cheese strings, crackers, little rice cakes, raisins. We'd have some fruit, maybe.
Do you have then the argument?
Or the children could do this themselves as well.
Yeah.
There's no reason why they wouldn't do a little,
Okay,
you know,
yeah.
a little
The
line
night
up
before.
of one after or the morning of, depending.
Mine would not
how
have
good
any.
they are.
They'd just take all the snacks.
Yeah, absolutely.
No interest in the sandwiches.
But you have to get
Full of chocolate.
What
You
about
gotta
breakfast?
get it balanced.
Breakfast? Anything for breakfast?
Same thing. Clear containers. Can't recommend them enough. These are just from IKEA. You imagine if you picked up this
and it was gone,
and there's one Cheerio left. There's going to be
Okay.
absolute murder. But if you can see, all right,
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
running low, at least then you know to stock up
And
in
you
the
just
shops.
keep these in the press.
Just keep them in the press. Yeah,
They're
there's
quite
smaller
easy
ones
to pour
depending
for
on.
the kids as well,
Really
if they want
handy
to do it.
again, creating that independence. So keep it low.
pour it, yeah.
Keep it low so they can get it themselves, depending on the age. But they
Yeah.
should be. I mean, I have a 6.5-year-old and a 2.5-year-old, and 2.5-year-old
Don't let
tries
the
her best.
2.5-year-old do it.
Yeah,
that's a
yeah,
mess
I have
on
a
the
bit of
floor.
milk on me this morning. But just kind of keeping a visual just to make your life easier, because the last thing you want to do, especially if you've got fussy eaters at home and they only eat Cheerios for breakfast, you know.
What else could you put in these?
Porridge.
All right,
Muesli,
okay.
anything, absolutely anything. Depends on what you have for breakfast, or you could kind of kit out something with your jams and your honeys and all that kind of stuff again. So keeping all the like for like items together.
One of the big things here that you seem to be is that clear is good.
Yeah, because you can just see visually.
Like
you think
everything clear drawers, clear everything.
Yeah,
with lunch
being able
boxes,
to
everything.
see that there's something in the drawer, that there's breakfast for the morning, you know, that kind of thing. It'll definitely save headaches.
One last thing. The kids bring home
Yeah.
so much.
I know.
I can't say that on
Yeah, no, it's beautiful
rubbish.
artwork.
It's beautiful artwork. That you don't,
So-
you want to
That
tell.
they've spent
That's
all day
wonderful. Put that in the
I
fridge, but then
know.
it's hard to get rid
So
of it.
this is last year's from
Oh,
Kiva,
okay.
but these are just a lot of the schools recommend you buy these anyway. They're just little
just keep it all in
organisers.
there.
Storage bag. I just have Kiva's art,
And
obviously
fun to look
labelled
back.
on
Oh,
it.
the label maker. Forgot to
But
talk
I
about
mean,
that, yeah.
you need to do a little haul every now and again. I mean, you know, a full year's worth of
Honestly,
art is
so
not going to
much.
fill in there. And then these are really cute as well. These are from Mr. Price. They're just clear, little kind of filing. They're actually really good for any kind of filing.
It'd be fun to look back on in
but
10
like you
years'
could
time,
have them
whatever.
out on display or somewhere nice, and they can like see the art as well. But definitely need to do a little clear out every now and again when
Kim,
they're not around.
From the source of the fair, thank you so much.
Keep it clear.
Thank you so much.
And
Thank
listen,
you.
device number one, of course, is the label maker.
Obviously.
Obviously.
Yeah.
What have we got coming up on tomorrow's show?
That's why you're all so nice and keep your kids' things. My mother was like, crap, throw
Oh,
it
no.
out. Throw it out.
We're on telly.
Anyway, coming up on tomorrow's show, we meet the Love Island hunk who first turned Ekin-Su's head. Jay Younger will be chatting to us. We'll also be chatting contraception with our resident TikTok doctor. Plus, we look ahead to the latest movie releases hitting the big and small screens this weekend. All that, plus your usual news, sport and weather. Join us tomorrow on Virgin Media 1 from 7. Talk to you then.
Bye.
Quite ominous the way you came in like that.